Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Places in News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to discuss the important places from the perspective of your exam which have been in news. Starting with some global places, the first one that we are going to do is Johannesburg. So Johannesburg has been in news because of the G20 summit which happened there and the important role especially that India and South Africa played, especially in setting and shaping up this Johannesburg meet. Now when we talk about this particular place, we have to first look into the whole agenda and the importance that has been raised especially by this G20 summit. So when we are talking about this G20 summit, it becomes important because of its outcomes, such as there were reforms related to IMF and World Bank structures they had been discussed. Furthermore, climate finance mechanisms, DPI collaboration, AI regulation framework, and it is also important because India played a huge role in specially setting the agenda for the global south. That means India showed up as a leader for the representation when we are talking about global south. Now moving ahead and discussing Johannesburg in detail. So if you talk about Johannesburg, it is located in South Africa. It is placed on the Gauteng province and it is located on the High Veld Plateau. So if you see this particular location, you will also be able to notice that it is not on the coast, it does not lie on the side of a river. That means it is not on the bank of river, and that is what another speciality of Johannesburg is, that it is only one of the mega cities which is not located on any river, coast or major water body. It is dependent on the Vaal River interbasin transfers which lies very close to it as we just saw. So you see Vaal River passes by very closely from Johannesburg. It is dependent on this particular river basin. Now talking about Johannesburg, it is built over Witwatersrand Ridge and it is known for being the richest gold zone in the world. Furthermore, as I mentioned, that is one of the few mega cities which is not by the coast or a river bank. If we talk about the climate, it has a subtropical highland climate. That means it mostly is dependent on summer rainfall. Especially if we talk about the urban geography of this region, you will find that it is Johannesburg and Pretoria which make the mega region of Gauteng. Furthermore, if we are talking about the main significance of Johannesburg, if we talk about the economic importance, it is the financial capital of Africa and it is also known for the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, one of the most important stock exchanges of Africa. Furthermore, if we talk about the economic importance, it is hard to miss the minerals and mining. It is the global hub for gold, diamond as well as platinum. Apart from that, when we are talking about significance, it is known for the geopolitical significance. As I said, financial capital of Africa. It is the African diplomacy hub, be it for BRICS Plus or AU representation. Furthermore, it is mining corridor headquarters for major African cooperation. That makes it economically significant. And from the perspective of exam, it becomes important that we understand the physical geography, the mineral deposition, and the G20 governance reforms that have taken place here. Now moving to the next one that we will be covering, that is Strait of Malacca. Strait of Malacca has been in news because a deep depression was forming recently and there was a prediction that it might intensify into cyclone. Can you tell me in the comment section which cyclone it has intensified into? Now when we are talking about Strait of Malacca, the first thing that we need to look into is the location. So you can see Strait of Malacca, it has been star marked here and it becomes a key route when we are talking about connection between Indian Ocean to South China Sea and then South China Sea to the Pacific Ocean. It is one of the most important choke points in terms of trade because almost 30% of global trade passes through Strait of Malacca. So this strait which lies between Malacca and Indonesia, which is Sumatra, the whole length is around 800 kilometers and the depth of is immense importance here because the depth is limited. That is why you will not find super tankers or limited super tankers are present, and that is why many a times the reroute has to be done of super tankers through the Lombok Strait, not through the Strait of Malacca. As I said, almost 30% of global trade passes through this. Strait of Malacca happens to be of extreme importance, especially for China, because 60% of their energy imports cross from here. And it is a significant place for India's Act East policy as well as Sagar. Now, when we are talking about significance in terms of energy security, as 60% of China's energy imports come via there is Malacca dilemma for China, where they want to emphasize and enhance their control. The military significance that the surveillance of Strait of Malacca is not by 1, 2, 3 parties, rather there are alliances, be it Quad, be it ASEAN, and it is critical for the security of these alliances as well. If we are talking about trade, it is a central link if you are talking about maritime Silk Route, and also from the perspective of exam, it becomes important in terms of world's choke points, understanding Indian Ocean geography, and the global shipping patterns that exist. Now, moving ahead to the next one, that is Haile Gubbi volcano that had erupted recently in Ethiopia. So the eruption has occurred in Ethiopia in the Afar region. If you see, it has been marked here. And when we are talking about this region, the reason it has been used because the ashes have traveled up and until India, where it has been responsible for the worsening of AQI. Now, when we are talking about this volcanic eruption, we have to understand that Haile Gubbi, the volcano, has erupted after 12,000 years. It has been dormant for such a huge time. If you want to understand more details around it, you can watch this video. I've done this in detail already. Now, the reason if we want to understand, it was because of the East African rift that is present, which led to the thinning of crust and the huge amount of pressure that was created. Now, this is part of Horn of Africa, which is already a climate sensitive hotspot, and it is part of Horn of Africa, which is climate sensitive hotspot. It has seen flash floods in recent times, which had affected Ethiopia and Somalia as well. Now, when we are talking about significance, it is important to understand the climate change, the geographical changes, the movement of plate tectonics, which also leads to effect of the region in the security. For UPSC lens, the East African rift, that is important. Horn of Africa, geopolitics, that is important. Monsoon and Indian Ocean dipole, all these related to flash floods becomes important in this very context. Now we will be moving to the Indian places. The first place that we are going to do is the Brihadeshwara temple in Tamil Nadu. So this has been in news because Archaeological Survey of India has conducted a cleanup drive and also a heritage walk at the Thanjavur Brihadeshwara temple to mark the World Heritage Week. So it was highlighted during the World Heritage Week. If we talk about the Brihadeshwara temple located in Thanjavur, based on Dravidian architecture, it is situated in Thanjavur on the Kaveri Delta, and it was built by Raja Chola I, that too back in 1010 CE. It is known and marked as a UNESCO site under Great Living Chola temples. Can you tell me in the comment section which other temples are included in this particular label? If we talk about the architectural features, as I said, Dravidian style, where it is 66-meter Vimana is present, one of the tallest temple towers if we get to see, massive granite blocks which have been transported from distant quarries, and this is the place where we get to see frescoes as well as Chola bronzes as well. The cultural significance of this place, that Thanjavur School of Art, the classical dance and bronze craft can be seen here, and the historical records can be seen by the inscriptions which are present on the temple, which clearly reveal about not just about Chola economy but the land grants, taxation and all the military campaigns as well. It is known for the fine Chola Dravidian architecture. This is seen. It gives an insight into South India's polity and economy as well. Important for the heritage circuit tour and anchor. And from the perspective of exam, the architecture of this temple, the Chola Empire, becomes important. Now moving to the next one that we are doing today is Sirpur. Now Sirpur's heritage site have been proposed to be taken up for the World Heritage nomination, because here ASI and SARA have conducted the inspection, and that's when they have prepared the dossier for Sirpur so that Sirpur can be nominated. When we talk about Sirpur, it is located on Mahanadi in the state of Chhattisgarh, which is just 85 km from the capital of Chhattisgarh, that is Raipur. It thrived from 6th to 10th century under Sarhabpuriya and Pandu Vamshi rulers. And if we talk about this archaeological site, we get to see many features such as Lakshman temple, which is the brick temple which is present there, Surang Tila, which is an elevated complex, the Buddhist viharas and stupas are also present, and terracotta works are also seen. The geographical advantage of this particular region is that it is a riverine settlement, so there has been regular trade and cultural exchanges, and it sits on a stable alluvial plain as well. And for the cultural factor, you have to consider that this is a blend of Buddhist, Shaiv and Vaishnav traditions as well, and this has been documented by Xuanzang as well. Apart from this, if we talk about the significance, we have to understand the contribution that it has made to archaeology in terms of unique Hindu as well as Buddhist heritage that we get. It provides a boost to India's cultural circuit, especially present in central India, and from the perspective of exam, directly related to early medieval history, river valley civilizations, and also temple typology and the classification that is seen. The next one that we are covering is Hussain Sagar Lake, present in Hyderabad. So basically, the Telangana government and also the municipal corporation has launched a desilting, aeration and pollutant diversion measures for the Hussain Sagar Lake, and they are decided to do the bioremediation as well. So if we talk about the Hussain Sagar Lake, it is located in the city of Hyderabad, which was built in 1563 by Ibrahim Kuli Qutub Shah, and it is known for the connect it provides to Hyderabad and Sikandrabad. It is almost spread over 6 square kilometers, and it is directly fed by the tributary of Musi River. It is also surrounded by multiple important places in the city, and the major landmark feature present here is the giant Buddha statue that we saw on the Gibraltar Rock. So if you get to see, there is a giant Buddha statue which is present on the Gibraltar Rock, which is the main feature here. Now, talking from the perspective of exam, you have to look into that this was a once drinking water source. Now, because of eutrophication and the sewage inflow, it has been impacted badly, and the restoration has been attempted, and the restoration impact would be seen not just on the urban areas but all the urban biodiversity as well. It is known for the tourism, recreation, and also as the city branding landmark as well. If we talk about significance, the most important part here is urban ecology, because it is a classic case study that you can quote for lake degradation and revival as well. Governance, the need for integrated lake management and also the sewage treatment. From the perspective of exam, urban lakes, water pollution, and Hyderabad's geography being a city where it is developing as a hub, IT hub as well, what could have been done right, what has gone wrong can be understood in form of case study. Now that was all for today's lesson. Thank you so much for joining in.